first meeting of the Garrison Board of Education. The first order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Due to the absence this evening of President and Vice President Ray O'Rourke and James Polk, we've asked Derek DuBois to be the Chair Pro Tem of the meeting. May I have a show of hands of the board to authorize Derek to fulfill that role for the evening? Thank you. Derek?
Okay, thank you. With apologies to those in the audience, our first item of business is to adjourn to executive session.
Well
Do we have a
done.
motion?
So moved.
So moved. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We shall return.
As long as you do it as quick as we can.
All right, next item on the agenda is to reconvene. Do I hear a motion to reconvene?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
You guys have it. Next up is superintendent's remarks.
Yes,
Laura.
good evening, Garrison. Nice to see you all. Got lots of good things to talk about. First, I want to say, Alex, you have successfully completed your 7th day, full week, today.
Bravo.
Congratulations. You've been doing some really great work, meeting with community members, parents, for our summer academies this week, and just, learning and listening and questioning. It's just a joy having you here. So. Last week we had 2 days of professional development. Words of advice came into the house and worked with our teachers in our units of study of reading and writing. Lots of good work was accomplished then, and I think it also inspired more excitement about our literacy work that we've been working on, and that this will be our second 2.5 years. We've gained some great momentum. Today, Sarah and Annabelle and the 3 Timmer boys, Alex and myself, unpacked the classroom libraries, grades 7 and 8, and shelved them in the new classroom for middle school, where Berger will be, and sharing with Rose, who will be on a topic later on in the agenda. The books smell good, they feel good, they make you want to read nonfiction and fiction, so that classroom is ready to go. And thank you, GSEF, you funded those classroom libraries, and thank you so much. You also funded K-5 classroom libraries, and next week we're going to try to schedule grade 6 classroom library setup. So we'll be in touch on what day, and maybe some more parents or kids can come and join in the great fun. On the English as a New Language horizon, we had a part-time teacher here named Wendy. She did some great work with our students. We have 2 ENL students right now, maybe 1 coming in kindergarten, we're not sure. So we are now on the lookout for another teacher to replace her. It's a .34, it's less than a part-time position, but Wendy was very special, so that person has big shoes to fill. Both of those students gained in a level in their proficiency, so that's really good work. So bravo to Wendy and bravo to those students, because they worked hard for that. We have identified a foreign language teacher who she's down on the agenda, but I just have to tell you that she will be teaching, if the board approved, grades 6, 7, and 8 every day for those students. She will also be teaching grade 6 reading. She's certified in elementary, certified in special ed, and certified in Spanish. So she's very flexible, and we're happy to have her on board. In the interim, as we discussed in our last board meeting, we had FLES, which is foreign language in the elementary school, and that was grades 3, 4, and 5. We've decided to suspend that for a while we have the new teacher covering the grade 6 literacy, with the promise of revisiting what is foreign language, what is the place foreign language has in our school, what do we want it to look like, feel like. So while the new teacher is working on the ELA reading and working on Spanish, we're also going to pick her brain, as well as the community's brain, the teacher's brains, of what we want to see in foreign language. And in that interim, GSEF has offered to purchase an online Spanish program for grades K through 5. so that any students who are passionate and want to pursue Spanish can do that at home. They'll have their own account. And we're going to see if we can carve some time out during the school day as well. So we'll see where that is. Right now we're researching programs. We also want to talk to our technology teacher and our new Spanish teacher, and also myself, and just sort of see what that can look like and how we can implement that seamlessly, hopefully by the end of September. Two new pieces, additions to our school can be seen out on the playground. GSF successfully raised $50,000 and has helped us with our first two pieces of playground, with the hope that we can have a phase 2 through our capital project. So thank you, GSF. And today, Sarah, Alex, Mike, Sue, and I were working on the plaque that everybody worked so hard on, the wording, the exact wording. So we were looking at placement and size, probably about an 8.5 by 11 plaque that will possibly go on a piece of the equipment. It's going to be in a visible place and very tastefully done. So thank you again. On August 30th, our teachers return on August 29th, and on August 30th, those are both staff, professional development staff days. On that second day, it's going to be a day of district safety. The day will begin with safety training, and it's state mandated. It has to be done by September 15th. And our regional safety coordinator, Frank Guglieri from BOCES, will be facilitating about an hour and a half full staff training. After that training, we've invited a number of emergency responders for a meet and greet from the community. So we have folks coming from the Sheriff's Department, we have local police, we have the Cold Spring Fire Department, Highlands Fire Department, Garrison Fire Department, the Garrison Volunteer Ambulance folks, and many others who are coming. I think there are about 10 to 15 folks, emergency responders, coming in. They're going to meet and greet our staff. Our staff's going to meet all of these emergency responders. The emergency response team, our building emergency response team, will be meeting with these emergency responders. We're also going to tour the building, and then we're going to break bread together. We're going to have lunch together. So I'm very excited about this. It's often we only see these folks when there's an emergency and whether there's a crisis. But I think we can build partnerships, deep partnerships in meet and greets like this. So come by if you'd like. And let's see. Oh, and also on that day, in the afternoon, we have a substitute orientation, and the orientation will be facilitated by Alex, our new principal, and Frank Guglieri. And they're going to talk about just sort of protocols and expectations within the building. Frank will really be focusing on safety and health procedures. And Alex will be sort of talking about procedures, and here's the schedule, here are the classrooms, and other expectations that we have of our substitutes. So it's the first time we're ever having one, and it's really to get everybody on the same page of understanding and what we need folks to do when they're here with our kids. Grade 5 teacher, we're still on the search. Alex and I have gone through almost 300 resumes and cover letters. We pulled about 25 candidates that surfaced to the top because of their credentials and experience. We interviewed them in the half-hour initial interviews. We have recommended 7 of them to our interview team, and our interview team is made up of about 5 to 7 staff members, including Alex and myself. And so those interviews will happen on Thursday, and then anybody who we'd like to move on, they will do a demo on Friday, because our summer academy classes are here, our students are here, so it kind of works out. And lastly, I just want to give a high five to the PTA. The PTA always does a great job with their after-school programs, but this year I feel it's extraordinary. They have included aerial silks, acro and circus skill class, teen and adult aerial silks, yoga, gardening, and cooking with Hudson Valley Seed, 21st century journalism, beginner jiu-jitsu, STEAM inventors, digital storytelling, and so they just keep getting better and better and better, and we're really thankful for what they're offering for our kids. And 2 additions to that is that the digital storytelling will be taking place at the Desmond Fish, and there will be an after-school program at the Art Center, and we're going to provide after-school busing to them. So this is the first time we're doing that, is that we can embed, we can move kids around a little bit who are going to those after-school programs on the buses that already exist. And then on those off days, we'll be able to offer the, probably grades 5 through 8, an opportunity to go to the Desmond Fish Library. At about 10, we can fit onto this, the blue bus. So anybody who wants to go to the Desmond Library after school will sign up. The first 10, first come, first serve. We'll figure out the logistics of all of that, but we're excited about that too. So thank you. There are a lot of people who help generate these really good ideas. So thank you. That's all I have.
Well, some are worth the buckets. Is this the juncture you wanted to talk about the superintendent and principal
Sure.
remarks? Because I don't see it on the agenda.
Right.
I have a comment, I just have a question about your remarks, or should I hold it till later? So my question is, if I would assume, although I really don't know, that this is not the best time of year to be hiring a new teacher. So my question is, if you feel do you feel pressure to hire one of those 25 people no matter what, or could you imagine finding some kind of a temporary solution until a better time to hire somebody?
We could definitely do that. We felt strongly that these were not the candidates that were a good fit. We could start with reopen the posting in OLAS and start with a stellar substitute.
You would do that?
We could do that, absolutely.
And what would you do? How would you manage the three? In other words, if you didn't find somebody who you were really comfortable with, would you have some temporary solution to the problem?
We would have to put a sub in there. Hopefully somebody who's certified until we found somebody. But I think that that's not always true, that you're not scraping the bottom of the barrel. We've actually hired some really stellar teachers here in late August. So it's dependent upon what's going on in people's lives. So there is movement in the spring, absolutely. But we have 300 resumes and cover letters, so there are 300 people who applied for this position. So this well is deep. And the people that we met were most impressive. I mean, we'll see how they are in the next phase of the interview process, but because the worst thing is to make a bad decision, right? It becomes negative, it becomes time consuming, so we always want to make the best decision for our kids and for their colleagues.
I would just second David's comment. I would, obviously it would be great to start the year with a new teacher, but I would think about the long term and the long term fit. And if you're not 100% comfortable, I'd be very supportive of holding off if you have to.
Thank you.
It's not a formal agenda item, but Ray had asked that we have a brief discussion about, traditionally we've had both superintendent remarks and principal remarks on the agenda. We've done, prior to your joining us, a number of things to streamline the agenda and try to make things move more quickly, most of which were beneficial. Ray had offered the suggestion of sometimes principal remarks and superintendent remarks overlapped and might not be the best use of time, and asked us to discuss whether we should just have superintendent remarks, and then when there was something that Alex, you want to remark on, to embed it. I'll share my perspective and ask others to comment. I don't think this needs a formal vote because it's a matter of the agenda, and the agenda can be fluid and we make day-to-day decisions on it. But I would say as a matter of sort of agenda tradition, with all due respect to Ray in absentia, I politely disagree with him. I think you're new here, Alex. We would love to hear directly from you. We'd love to hear your observations in the early days and your feeling about progress as things, or at least I would speak for myself as time goes on. I would suggest, from my perspective, we maintain the tradition of having both your comment and Laura's comment at the opening of the meeting. Just ask, obviously, you guys to coordinate so that you're each talking about your spheres and not covering the same things. But I think that's my point of view. I don't know if others have comment.
I totally agree with that. I feel strongly that we want to get to know you, and I know you'll have a lot to say about how things are going, and we'd love to hear from you for the foreseeable future. Have you compliment what the superintendent has to say.
I'm fully in agreement with that. I think it's important to hear your perspective and hear your thoughts
thoughts and hear your concerns.
Search for the record of the year.
Left side of the room.
I think we all kind of felt that we agreed to have the two of you speak.
Yeah, I agree as well. I'd like to hear the principal's report and the superintendent's report.
Okay.
Sometimes maybe briefly.
What are you saying?
Did I look at you?
You
I'm
did.
sorry.
I will probably need to be more brief with the two of us.
Right, so Ray and
I
James
will work on that.
can opine later, but just expect Alex that the next meeting will be a formal slot for you. If you have anything you want to say off the cuff right now, we'd welcome it, but don't expect you to prepare.
Well, I would just first, and I completely, I appreciate the welcome with the 7 days and beyond. It's been a really wonderful start. Just to reiterate a lot of what Laura said, it's just, it's wonderful to step into school a few days in and then have the summer academy begin. And I have seen so many students in the past 2 days looking for and just coming and smiling, which is not always the case as students may have to come in the summer. So it's been a really nice start from my perspective. And that's kudos to the administrative team and just everyone here has been wonderful. And then just with regards to the grade 5 position, I think we're very much on the same page that if we felt that there was any question of the quality of candidates, and the pool was quite deep. So I think we have a lot of confidence going into Thursday. Our committee is well aware it will probably be a long day just because we have such an extensive pool of candidates. So our hope is that we can have, of course, someone in time for the school year, but someone who's best fit for our students and who's, of course, qualified and will have a long career here. So.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Next up, financial reports. The first of those is, as always, budget status and revenue status reports.
Yep, there's not much activity that happens in the beginning of the school year. So those reports actually show the little activity that we have in the appropriations and the revenues. The auditors are planning to be here at the next meeting in September, so we'll give you a report on the financial condition of that we're winding up now for the 2018 school year. So unless there's any questions on that, I can move right on to the budget transfer.
Just one question, Sue.
Sure.
I noticed that the budget report has about $110,000, it looks like, increase from original to adjusted. Does that reflect the new 5th grade position, or is that something
No.
different? Is that 5th grade position yet included here?
No.
Okay.
To answer, no, it wasn't part of the budget. And that 110,000 that you're seeing as a budget adjustment is actually encumbrances that happened in the 17-18 school year that got rolled over. So that, in other words, it was things that we might have ordered but didn't come in, and we didn't pay for them yet. So we'll be paying for them in this current year. So it is actually a budget adjustment when you roll over the
But there was money
encumbrances.
held back from last year's budget to pay for
Yes.
those, so it's not an increase in what we have to spend,
No.
it's just a change in time reporting. Okay.
It's just a timing thing. We might have ordered items and they didn't come in till July 15th, and we paid for them in July, not, some of those encumbrances probably have already been paid for at this point. So, good question. And the budget transfer, that's for this current year. It really is just when I looked through the appropriations report, I just saw a few things that needed some adjustments from where I think payments will be going this year. So it's a small budget transfer of $17,400. If there's any questions on that you do have to approve.
Okay.
Or you don't have to, but I'm hoping you do.
So do I have a motion to approve the budget transfer?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So there's quite the consent agenda. We're going to make up for the discussion of superintendent and principal remarks by speed reading it. I think I just have to read the headlines, right? Not each of the resolutions, or do I have to read each of the resolutions?
On the motion.
Ray normally does,
Okay.
perhaps for the sake of the audience.
public.
Sure.
But they are listed on the hard copy of the agenda. That will take all.
Okay, so I read through them and then ask for the motion.
Correct.
Okay.
That's one.
So a lengthy consent agenda follows. Item B is to approve the minutes of July 11th board meeting. Item C, so it's just the headline I read, and I don't have to open the whole thing up, right?
Recommended action usually.
Yeah. So the recommended action is to approve CSE recommendations, which are attached to the item. Item D is to approve the permanent appointment of Michael Twardy to the position of Director of Facilities 2/Director of Transportation due to the successful completion of a 52-week probationary period effective August 29, 2018. Item E, a little longer, approve the appointment of Rose Tremels to a probationary term of 4 years as foreign language teacher in the academic tenure of foreign languages effective August 29, 2018. Her probationary period will commence on August 29, 2018 and expire on August 28, 2022, contingent upon achievement of effective or highly effective APPR ratings necessary to receive tenure throughout her probationary period, consistent with the requirements of Education Law Sections 3012-D. She holds professional NYS certification in Spanish 7 through 12, childhood education grades 1 through 6. The salary for this position for 2018 and 19 will be based on the MA Step 5 level Garrison's Teachers Association salary schedule to be determined upon completion of contract negotiations. Item F is to approve a maximum of 14 hours of summer 2018 curriculum work for Rose Tremels, Spanish teacher. Item G is to approve a maximum of 30 hours of summer 2018 curriculum work for Krista Diego, school counselor. Item H is to approve additional 2018 summer work for a maximum of 2 days for Nancy Romano, technology specialist, at her regular daily rate of pay. Item I is to accept the resignation of Wendy Altman from the position of part-time .34 FTE E&L teacher effective July 30th, 2018. Item J is to accept the resignation for the purpose of retirement. Congratulations, Hector Marcos Antonio from the position of custodial worker / bus driver, effective at the close of business September 30th, 2018. Item K is to approve the approve the appointment. Sorry, my computer lagged for a second. Of Hector Marcos Antonio as a substitute cleaner / bus driver at the hourly rate of $18, effective October 1, 2018 through June 30th of 2019. Item L is to approve the appointment of substitute staff at the rate of $85 per day for the 2018-19 school year. Karen Bresnan, Casey Kalning, Julie Cannon, Twilight DeBruzzo, Patricia Fitzgerald, Mary Fapiano, Renee Ford, Patricia Johnson, Lisa King, Laura Kissack, Jennifer Lentini, Susan McEnroe, Carol Penner, Kimberly Scheffler, Rebecca Schutt, Maureen Sheeran, Sarah Stevenson, and Jaden Paisley Tonison, with apologies for any mispronunciations. And I have to make an editorial comment that it's a crazy system that pays substitute teachers $85 per day. Item M is to approve the appointment of the following Garrison USFD employees to work additional hours / days as substitutes at the same rate of $85 per day, effective July 1/18 through June 30, 2019. Melissa Harris, Sally Martini, and Lillian Moser. Item N is to approve the appointment of Christopher Caliendo as a mentor for the 2018-19 school year at a stipend to be determined upon completion of contract negotiations. Item O is to approve the price of white milk and chocolate milk for students for the 2018-19 school year at 25 cents per half pint. Expect some discussion on that one. Item P is to adopt policy statement and income eligibility guidelines for free milk program as issued by the United States Department of Agriculture.
So moved.
Item Q, not yet.
Not yet?
Approve K through 8 and high school bus routes for the 2018-19 school year, which are attached if anyone wants to review them. Item R is to adopt the 2018-19 professional development plan. Item S is to adopt the approve the special class consortium agreement with Haldane Central School District and Putnam Valley Central School District for the 2018-19 school year. And that concludes the
So
items
moved.
on the consent agenda.
So moved.
We need a motion to.
I have a question.
Second.
Uh,
So you gotta second it
The first
first.
motion and then we
Oh,
discuss.
I'm sorry.
So we- Okay, we have a motion.
Now discussion.
Any comment, discussion, David?
I just want to know what a mentor means in this context.
It's contractual, it's in the teacher's contract, that any new teacher who comes on board has a mentor. It's typically a teacher who volunteers their expertise and support, and it's a year long with a stipend as connected.
That's right.
So Chris will be Rose's mentor
I see.
next year, which is great because she'll be, he's been here for long enough, but also he worked with the units of study in reading and writing last year, so he'll be able to support her in this new position.
So it's one-to-one, or would he also be the mentor of the new fifth grade teacher? That could be
Not
separately
typically,
appointed?
right.
Okay.
I'd also like to add my agreement to Derek's editorial comment. I just think it's amazing that substitute teachers get paid $85 a day, and I think it can't be a good thing. It just can't be. And I think it's something we've got to talk about at some point. So I will support this consent agenda under protest, with the proviso that we have a real discussion about this.
It has gone up $5.
Yeah.
So, but we did make the promise that
That's
it
like
was going to
10
be another agenda.
It's like
Yeah,
$10 an hour. So
Yeah, he was here. He was here for that.
Okay,
Yeah.
just because I had the dates
So-
on it, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah, thank you for that, Governor.
I think that'll give Laura time too to look up what the figures are in other places.
And I have
I
it.
think we've already done this.
Yeah, we have it, and some people have it tiered, whether you're certified or uncertified. Some people have a flat rate. So we're prepared with the data to, but it impacts.
I mean, as I recall, I don't think we were out of whack with other schools. It's just systematically the strange approach to trying to get teachers in the door. But
And also, there are just a lot of substitutes who like to be here, so they could go to other districts and make a little bit more money, but they like being here, they like our kids, they like our staff, they like the district, so they will, not saying good, bad, or otherwise, but it's a good place to be.
So maybe that could be put on as another meeting agenda.
Yeah, and we did,
Item.
we crunched some numbers, because there was a one year where we just had a lot of substitutes, so that $5 increase.
It was actually a $10 increase.
Oh, it was
That's
75?
what I thought, it was
Well,
75.
Oh, so-
75, it was a
Yeah.
$10 increase. And we have gone over budget. We increased the budget, a few years ago on that line item. We have gone over budget ever since, even with that. So I mean, it's something, I think, I don't disagree, but I think you have to look at it in both contexts of, the availability of subs that we have here and, financially how it's gonna hit, because it will be an increase to the budget, that's bottom line. And so I think it's a good discussion to have before we get really into budget season, because if we're looking to increase that, going forward, it would have to be a budget item, so. Budget increase.
I just have one question. The item R was to adopt the professional development plan. Any comments, Laura or Alex, if you've had time to study it, but
Actually,
any key aspects of it?
It's pretty boilerplate, it's for the
Okay.
state,
Okay.
it's broader than really what's happening on the ground, but this is just to
Oh,
me
okay.
to submit to the state.
Oh, this is just saying certain number of days per person.
And it's aligned with the contract, and it's
Got it.
under, John Griffith's name right now, because Alex was just coming in and it was due, so
That's fine.
Alex
But it's not
will.
it's not the content of the professional development, it's the bureaucracy of approving a certain number of days. Right.
You mean for the,
I mean, this isn't saying
Professional
the types of things we think that we're gonna do a new program at Bank Street, or we're going to.
no,
you know,
it's
that
broader
kind of-
than that, I mean, it does talk a little bit about that and the sort of things that we do, but it is aligned to the contract, which is broader and it's not, it doesn't give you the full picture.
That we've agreed to spend a certain amount of time and money on professional
Right,
development.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, any other questions, comments? All in favor? David, your objection noted. Aye.
Aye.
Okay. There is, hang on, I gotta scroll down, the computer's a little jumpy. There is one discussion item. The Board of Education School Committee charges and board committee members.
Journal packets.
That's what we tabled last board meeting,
Okay.
the membership part.
Committee charges. Who's gonna sign up for which ones?
Yeah.
Okay, are we supposed to decide that now, or this is
That's
just
gonna be
talking about the
action.
charges, not
Yeah.
the members? Okay, so I would be happy to maintain my status on the finance and audit committees.
I think
Flexible,
we received the thing of who's on where and.
Who was last year, yeah.
Smart copy of the members.
Oh, it's okay.
The new draft this year and the list from last year with the members assigned to each committee.
Board committee meeting schedule. Okay, so I'll just read this off, and if you object strenuously to where your name is placed, you can talk about it.
Or I think if anybody wants to be in one of the spots and isn't.
Yeah, either way, if you want to add your name or subtract it or
Right.
whatever. So
Right.
just so we all have them, audit committee, the draft is Derek DuBois, Diane Swinburne, James Hoke, Sue Hutter, and Laura Mitchell, both advisory. Finance committee, Ray O'Rourke, Derek DuBois, Courtney McCarthy, Sue Hutter, and Laura Mitchell. Facilities, Diana Swinburne, James Hoke, Joe Lake, Michael Twardy, co-chair, Sue Hutter, and Laura Mitchell. Anybody wish to add, subtract, or remove themselves? I move we add James to all of them.
So moved.
Okay. We have discharged that discussion item, and we will approve it shortly. There are a number of action items. Item A is to approve the Board of Education and School Committee charges. It does not say the membership, but let's assume that it's also the members that we just discussed. Item B is to approve the Board of Education Committee memberships and scheduled meetings. Item C is to create an elementary teacher position. This is the one that's for the 5th grade, Laura? Okay. Item D is to approve a tax warrant. Item E is to approve high school instructional contract with Holiday and CSD. Item F is to approve the transportation contract extension with Hudson Valley Bus Company. Item G is to approve the updated district-wide school safety plan. Item H is to approve updated building level school emergency response plan. And item I is to approve the disposal of obsolete computer equipment. Do we have a motion?
I think we have to do
Each
something on each
resolution
one.
is separate.
So you have to read those little
Okay.
things.
So, item A, on a motion, well, do I have a motion, I have to get a motion on each one of these things?
You do the resolved?
We resolved first, and then there's
Resolved.
a motion.
Resolved. Oh, just this.
Yeah.
Resolved that the Board of Education of the Garrison Union Free School District approves the Board of Education and School Committee charges as attached.
So moved.
Seconded.
All in favor? Aye. Got it. Item B, sorry to drag us back through this.
No, you're
Realize.
fine.
Resolved that the Board of Education of the Garrison Union Free School District, henceforth to be called GUFS for this meeting, approves the Board of Education Committee memberships and scheduled meetings for 2018 and 19.
So moved.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item C, resolved the Board of Education of GUFS hereby approves the creation of a full-time elementary teaching position.
So moved.
Seconded.
All in favor? Aye. Item D is to approve a tax warrant. Resolved that the Board of Education of GUFS confirms the tax rolls, authorizes the tax levy, and approves the tax warrant for the 2018-19 school year as per the attached.
So moved.
Seconded.
All in favor? Aye.
Oh, excuse me, are we supposed to read any more of that one? No?
If you have questions, we can unresolve it and take your questions and then re-resolve
No, I
it.
didn't know in the public if we were, we normally have more to that one. Go ahead. Sorry.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this is just the formalization of the tax rolls, the levy rates, things that are pretty much preordained to us, right? Item E, resolved that the Board of Education of Guffs hereby approves the contract with Haldane School District for instructional services for the education of secondary students for the 2018-19 school year at the tuition rate of $13,441 for regular education.
So moved. Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item F, resolved that the Board of Education of Guffs approves the extension of the 2014-15 transportation contract with Hudson Valley Bus Company for the 2018-19 school year using the annual CPI as posted on the NYSED website. The 2018-19 contract is calculated as CPI of 2.2%. I'll editorialize that is higher than the tax cap increase rate that budgets the school, resulting in the estimated total transportation cost of $355,942.23.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item G, resolve the Board of Education of Guffs approves the updated district-wide school safety plan for 2018 and 19.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Item H, resolve the Board of Education of Guffs approves the confidential updated building school level emergency response plan for the 2018-19 school year.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Controversial one, item I, resolve that the Board of Education of Guffs approves the disposal of miscellaneous obsolete computer equipment as per the attached.
So moved.
Question. Oh, wait,
Seconded first.
Second, okay.
how do we, how are we disposing of them? Are we giving them to, people who need them, or throwing them out, or what?
They're purchased through BOCES funds. Can you explain it, Sue?
Sure. The older computers we were purchasing through BOCES, so they actually belong to BOCES even though they're here. They actually will come and take them and they dispose of them properly. They do it for most school districts in the area. So,
So we don't know what happens to them?
me specifically, no. And Nancy Romano probably knows specifically like what they do with the hard drives and everything. I know that there's a procedure that they follow. So I can't answer that question, but we can answer next time we come.
I mean, it would be, if it's a way to like donate them to countries that don't have them, or kids in third world countries that are.
I'm not even sure if, on this list if they're actual computers.
They're desktops and monitors,
Okay,
Or whatever they are.
LaserJet.
yeah. They're not ours to donate, if they were BOCES property.
So we lease
So
them
we do
basically?
dispose of them through BOCES. I know that Nancy and I have had discussions, in the past of when that day of BOCES, equipment is ending because we stopped buying from them a few years ago. So we're gonna be starting to, retire our own equipment. And, we have had that discussion on what to do with it as far as disposing of it properly, so we're not giving away, critical information and, possibly donating. But there's, we have to make sure that hard drives are clean and that type of thing. But most of this stuff, I believe, is BOCES, and that's why they come and they actually dispose of it. What they actually do, I mean, Nancy would probably be the better person to answer that. I can ask her and we can get back to you at the next board meeting.
I think technology changes so rapidly though that even in a third world country, it's not necessarily of interest.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not so sure that that's true, and maybe. I don't know enough
I
to-
think I've heard that somewhere, that it's,
But it's worth, I just think it's worth, I mean, it's not the biggest deal, but it'd be interesting to find out
that
what
might
is
be a
happening to
question,
them.
that might be a question for BOCES more so than,
Could be,
Yeah.
I think we voted on this, so noting David's question, all in favor?
aye.
Aye. With that, public comment, we have
Oh,
a loyal public member.
Very loyal public.
This is fun.
Hi, Annabelle Gorman. I'm Sarah Tormey, parent to incoming second grader and incoming third grader, and current president of the Garrison Children's Education Fund. GSEF is thrilled the playground is in, and I really want to thank all of our donors. I want to thank Michael, Director of Facilities, for all the work he did to make this happen. It's probably more work than he anticipated, and he did it with a smile, and I really appreciate that. I want to thank Sue for helping us with all the questions and the budget things we didn't even know we needed to ask, and Laura and the rest of the administration for working so hard with us, and all of you for listening to all of our playground talk. I hope all the kids love it, and the insurance company too. It was so exciting to see the 7th and 8th grade books. I hope you all go up and take a look at them if you have a chance. The books are diverse, they're exciting, they're interesting. I wanted to stop and read them all when I was looking at them. And then I also wanted to point out that over the summer, GSEF approved a grant for the second grade classroom to transform it into a green classroom. This is in addition to the $21,000 approximate that we've already approved for the fall, which couldn't be done without the generous support of our donors. But the green class, stop.
Playground's open if you just turn the lights on.
No after lights, no after lights.
Yeah. But the green classroom, I shared the grant with Courtney. I hope you pass it around. I'll take a look at it. Miss Giuliano and Miss Dee did a great job putting this together. It really speaks to Miss Giuliano's experience, where she came from, working with green classrooms. And she was also a hire in very late August last year, and she's a fantastic teacher. I just want to point that out. She's really the best. But please take a look at the grant, and I think it really speaks to an item you brought up at the last few meetings about what are we going to do with your climate change resolution. And I would encourage you all to look to what the teachers can do. I think there's amazing ideas here on the staff. And I'm sure as you talk to more teachers, they will bring forth more ideas. So I just want to bring that to your attention, and thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Board member comment, excuse me.
I'd just like to thank all of the members of GSEF. I sat in on their, what was typically is end of year meeting, except that GSEF this year has decided to go all summer long. They're still meeting, but I sat in on their June meeting where they voted in all of these grants, and it was a several-hour discussion of all of the members, really thoroughly looking, reading, researching all of the grants, and making really thoughtful decisions, and really putting the interests of the students and the teachers front and center. And it was really impressive to watch, and they're bringing in a lot of, and funding a lot of really great, important programs, and it's been exciting to watch that all develop. So thank you for all of your hard work.
And to be personal, thank you, Sarah, for your leadership on this.
Thank you. I just want to welcome Alex again, and I'm looking forward to the start of school again. It's so great to come into the school at this time of year and see everything, even though there's still some disarray around, but the floors are shiny, and I know the gym is like really usually fantastic, and it's kind of nice. It's a new beginning every year. Very nice. So welcome.
Not recording? Okay. Further comment? Welcome, Alex. Thank you, GSEF. With that, we come to item 11, resolve that this regular meeting of the Board of Education of the Garrison Union Free School be adjourned.
So moved.
Seconded.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all.